divine occasion. That is the intangible heritage of each. Many happy returns of this beautiful divine day. Happy birthday to you.
Rishikeshwritings, and we are on the bank of River Ganga at Bernard Ashram with Dr. Michael Beckwith ji, and he's a spiritual mentor, a spiritual healer, spiritual guidance, a caretaker of humanity from USA. Namaste ji.
Namaste.
How was your journey in this International Yoga Festival, and how you find yourself by sharing your wisdom?
This is my second time at the festival. Both times were extraordinary. This time was great. A lot of beautiful people. I met some friends that I'd never seen before in the physical. But the connection was very, very strong, and I could tell it's going to be lifelong friendships. And then my participation on 3 of the panels and the keynote address, I felt very good about it. I felt very good about the distillation of the transformational knowledge that was coming through, and the feedback from the participants have been extraordinary in terms of what they felt as I was speaking and as I was teaching. It's beautiful. I loved it. I still love being here right now with you.
And what message you would like to convey from India to your viewer who see you, who watch you, who love you?
Well, the message is a universal message. It's a message, first of all, that we're all emanations of the divine, emanations of the eternal presence, and though we might get sidetracked and distracted and hijacked from time to time into thinking that we're less than that, into thinking that we're merely our bodies or merely our emotions or merely our perceptions or what we have or what we don't have, or merely what has happened to us or our interpretation of what has happened to us, that we're all divine beings. We're here to wake up to our glorious nature, and upon awakening to our glorious nature, we're to bring the transcendent qualities, make them eminent, bring them to earth through generosity, compassion, kindness, creativity, catching how we are to make the world better, bring more peace and love and harmony to the planet. It's a universal message, but it needs to be said over and over again that the world doesn't have anything for us. There's nothing in the world that can make us happy. That we have something for the world. We have God in us, power in us, infinite potential within us, and we're here to realize it, activate it, and set it free. So a lot of people are very unhappy because they expect the world or people to make them happy, circumstances to make them happy. It'll never happen. It's impossible. Happiness is within. Joy is within. You discover, activate, and express it, and then regardless of the circumstance, you'll find you have a level of joy, happiness, harmony in your life.
When we see the mathematician or mathematics, so mathematics have a formula to if you want to create a solution, so there is a formula like for a 2 into 2 is 4. So same way is universe also have some formula which we create or get the presence of God within us.
Formula is simple. 1, our thoughts are units of mental energy that can be measured, and they have a tendency to replicate themselves into perception and experience. So when one begins to have dominion over their awareness and not get caught up in thinkingness and the thought forms, that much of the thoughts that people get aren't their thoughts. They just inherit it from the world. They got it from their parents. They got it from society. Once you're able to catch the thought from God, which is inspiration, it's different from the thought of the world through spiritual practice, life visioning, meditation, scientific and affirmative prayer. There's a formula in that. And then once you begin to practice at that level, moksha, you become free. what is the formula? What is prayer? Gratitude, recognition, unification, thanksgiving, and release. You enter into a state of gratitude. You start to recognize the presence of God everywhere. You feel one with God. You give thanks for what you're praying for. You give thanks that you already have it. And then you release the word. And it shows up in your life.
And we heard that you're going to launch your podcast. Would you like to share about the podcast and what will be the messages the public would receive from these podcasts?
Absolutely. The podcast is called Take Back Your Mind. And anywhere that podcasts are shown or listened to, you put in Take Back Your Mind, Michael B. Beckwith will pop up. The first episode, I explain what that means, to take back your mind. The second episode is with a brilliant man by the name of Sean Stevenson from the Model Health Program. And we're going to talk about health and dynamic well-being. The third episode is with Lewis Howes. And we're going to talk about the mindset of greatness. So every week, I have a different guest. And we dive deep into the conversation of whatever their expertise is. So it's dynamic, it's beautiful, it's flowing. So all they have to do is put in Take Back Your Mind and obviously subscribe to it, rate it 5 stars, and pass it on to other people so that we can develop a kind of a movement of inspiration.
Movement become a reality?
Yes, the movement in order to create into a state of creation so that we can begin to live in the world that our whole soul is desperately trying to reveal. So they can do that. They can find everything about me at agapelive.com, agapelive.com. It's my spiritual community. They can go there and see me talking on Sundays. They go to the archives and watch it. There's a lot there that people can discover.
In India, the people recognize you with the book of Rhonda Bryan.
Yes.
In Hindi publication, the public who know the Hindi language, they understand it. Public who knows the South Indian languages, Tamil, Kannada, from there they know it, and a major public who also listen the English also. From there, the people know you in India.
Yes.
And how the Rhonda Brown find you? Would you like to share that journey? What is the spark happened between you and Rhonda Brown? She chose you for the documentary.
Rhonda Byrne is her name.
Yeah.
And I'd been asked to be in the movie The Secret, but the timing wasn't right. They filmed that in Aspen, but I was already committed to something else, so I couldn't do it. So they filmed most of it in Aspen. On her way back to Australia, she had to land in LA for a layover. So she ended up coming to Agape. She didn't know that I was the director of Agape. She comes to Agape and she hears me speak. And she says, "Oh my God, will you be in my movie?" And I said, "What's your movie?" And she said, "The Secret." I said, "Oh yeah, Bob Proctor told me about this, but I couldn't come." And she said, "Well, can we film you?" I said, "Sure." So they set up a green screen, and the director was named Drew. So Drew and Rhonda started asking me questions. And then after a while, Rhonda said, "I'm not going to ask you any questions anymore. Just talk." And I just started teaching. And the next thing you know, I'm closing The Secret. I'm in there and became one of the featured teachers. It was serendipitous, the way the universe put that together. The Secret. Yeah, very good. Mm-hmm.
And we see that you're seeing the India second time or third time, and fifth time. So we can add two more times.
Yeah.
And how the differences you found it, the people of India and people of America, like what is their thought about the life, and how you find your yourself when you see that life in India?
Well, all my visits to India I've always loved, and the beautiful about this India, the nation is an older nation. America's a baby. America's only a couple of 100 years old, and it has vast materialism, consumerism, technology. But India, because of its cultural influence towards moksha, towards liberation, towards freedom, spirituality, it's embedded in the culture, it's in the atmosphere. In America, it's not as powerful. I mean, there are spiritual communities in America. There are people in America who are seeking to grow spiritually, but a lot of the religions are anemic. It's not a seeking for liberation or cosmic consciousness or Christ consciousness or freedom. It's just going to church, being good until you die, something like that. So it's kind of a weak, anemic religion. Even there are powerful communities there, but here, in the atmosphere, everyone knows pretty much. It's born into the awareness that, you're here to evolve as a spiritual being. So when you come here, you come into a whole different atmosphere, and people become initiated into a higher frequency. I'm not seeking to romanticize India. I mean, there's issues, obviously, but the spiritual gestalt of it, embedded in the vibration, is, particularly with all these ashrams, you're here to get free. You're here to wake up. In America, you're here to get a car. It's a lot of you here to get stuff. Here, you're here to wake up.
And what is abundance according to you?
Abundance is a feeling tone. We come from abundance. The universal presence is infinite. The multidimensional universe is infinite, always expanding. We come from abundance. There's scarcity is an illusion that you can experience, but it's still an illusion. So abundance is the feeling tone of all of your needs met, living from an overflow, so that you can express love, generosity, harmony, peace, beauty. Abundance is connection to the presence of God and having all of your needs met.
And one thing you would like to say about India, what would you say? And Rishikesh.
Oh, I love Rishikesh. Feeling tone of it is magnificent. And there's monkeys all around us.
Yeah.
Back of us, they took the woman's food. And they're right behind us. So, I love India. I love the people. I love the atmosphere. I'll be back.
And when you see the Ganga, the Ganges, the sacred river from Himalaya, which she traveled from Gaumukh Glacier to the Bay of Bengal.
Yes.
It's a river like a Nile river.
Right.
What did you get from her?
Well, I've meditated and done yoga on the Nile, and meditated and done yoga on Mama Ganga, and those are two very great experiences of my life. And I did the dip in the Ganga, just full submerge and release anything that was not serving me into the water. And the cold water, I could feel washing away the dust and the grit of the journey. It's beautiful. I love her. I love being here on the banks of the Ganga. And I love how everyone worships that energy, and that energy is in the air. It's beautiful.
These days we saw the Indian people are passing through the big mental pressures and things. Even COVID come after that, so much things happen. What would you like to give them a message?
Basically, the power that is within us, the power that's within you, is bigger than anything outside of us. Every problem is afraid of our potential. So if we become quiet and still enough and tap into that power, we see that the problem isn't big. Our energetic field is bigger than any problem. Whatever they call it. They can call it virus, they can call it whatever. But when the mind is hypnotized, it creates an optical illusion. And people begin to think the problem is bigger than they are. It's impossible. We are infinite, eternal beings. Nothing is bigger than us. We have to do spiritual practice to discover that and set it free.
In India, we says when we visit a spiritual person, a practitioner, or a person who's practicing either a scripture or practicing in a practical way. So there says the one solution, meditation.
Yes.
And what would you thought about it?
Meditation beats medication. Yeah, but meditation, you penetrate the veil of your own illusions in your own mind, your own limited perceptions, and you have insight, sudden or gradual awareness of that which is real and true, and begins to take over your life. It shows up as wisdom and guidance and direction in a language and in a way that we can understand. Meditation is the key. I've been practicing meditation for over 40 years. Been teaching it. It is the way.
It's amazing to be with you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Namaste. So this is Michael G from USA. And if you want to find him, you can find in the heart, or you can find in the books, you can find in his podcast website. You can share your website so people could visit you.
I'll give you two. michaelbeckwith.com, BECKWITH, michaelbeckwith.com, and agapelive.com, HEAPELIVE.com. The podcast is entitled Take Back Your Mind. Go there, listen, or watch the episode on YouTube, subscribe to it, let your friends know. You could even check me out on my Instagram page as well, and see the inspirational videos that I put on pretty regularly.
My last question. So, if you would like to come India with your student, where you would like to take them?
To your house.
You're most welcome to my house.
Well, obviously, the next time we come back, we're probably going to bring a group.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to come here. That's one of the places we're going to come, at the International Yoga Festival. After that, we'll have to see.
What the universe calls.
We're in India. We'll let it unfold.
Namaste.
Namaste.